The 13 colonies had a diverse economy of jobs and crops within their geographic regions. The colonies were divided into 3 regions: the New England colonies, the Middle colonies, and the Southern colonies. Various different crops were grown in each region. Almost 90% of the colonists were farmers. Colonists planted the same crop on the same land for many years without fertilization and managed to produce food for themselves and their families. Each region had their own growing seasons and soils. The New England colonies had a short growing season with very rocky soil. The Middle and Southern colonies had very fertile soil that produced a longer growing season. The Middle colonies had the longest growing season and can be referenced as the breadbasket of the 13 colonies. New England crops and resources provided food for their families and sometimes even enough to sell regardless of its soil. Many different crops like wheat, corn, naval stores, which are tar and pitch from trees in the forest, and molasses that is used to make rum. New England colonies had many resources that provided fish, lumber, and beaver furs. Therefore, the colonies had a large fishing and shipbuilding industry, many trees, and many animals like beavers for fur trade. Middle colonies didn't have a very big fishing or shipbuilding industry like New England. Instead, they grew many different crops like tobacco, wheat, hemp, and corn. The Middle colonies had forests that provided beaver fur, staves, and lumber. Southern colonies don't have a large fur trading, shipbuilding, or fishing industry. Tobacco is one of the major crops grown in the southern colonies. They also grow rice, corn, indigo, and hemp. Though they don't have a fur trading industry, they still have hides as a resource. In addition for having hides as a resource, they also had many trees for lumber. As said before, the colonists in all regions had a variety of different jobs, but 90% were still farmers. The other 10% were carpenters, smiths, or did other various jobs. I've broken them up into 5 categories: farmers, hunting and fishing jobs, carpentry jobs, travel jobs, home improving jobs, and other jobs in the colonies. Farmers, hunters, and fishermen's jobs were to bring food to their families, and if they had enough, sell at a local marketplace. A farmer's job was to grow certain crops and those dependent on the region that they lived in. A fisherman caught cod, halibut, and mackerel. Trappers caught fur-bearing animals like beavers for a living, and tanners used cow hides to make leather. Carpenters and smiths' jobs were to build and repair items that were normally used in a household. Blacksmiths forged iron into kettles, hinges, weather vanes, axes, hoes, and other products. Glass blowers made window panes, glass bottles, and glass tableware. Pewterers made household items out of cheaper metal for colonists who couldn't afford silver or more valuable metals. Silversmiths turned valuable metals like silver into candlestick holders, tableware, and pots. Anyone who worked in the travel section either made vehicles to travel or provided a place for travelers to stay. Innkeepers ran a tavern where travelers could eat and sleep when they stopped by. Wheelwrights made 2-wheeled vehicles. that could transport farming produce. Cartwrights made and repaired wheels. Saddle makers made saddles for themselves and other horse riders so they could travel on horseback to the places they needed to go. Home improving jobs either made items to improve homes or make people's everyday life easier. Shoemakers made shoes out of leather for the colonists. Weavers made clothing using a loom. Hatters made clothing with a crown and a brim. Chandlers made candles for people's homes. And locksmiths made knobs for doors, trunks, and drawers. There's a large variety of random jobs in the other category. Gunsmiths made and repaired guns for people. Brewers made rum, wine, and other beverages. And coopers made the barrels to store agriculture and the drink in. Sawmill operators made supplies to build with. And traders worked on ships that traded goods from England to the colonies.